a very warm welcome to this special presentation. It is a double-header day, the first one in this IPL 2022, and I can assure you it is going to be double the fun and double the action. So, what's the first match lined up for today? It is Mumbai Indians versus the Delhi Capitals, and Delhi Capitals have won the toss. This match is being played at the Brabant Stadium. We'll get you all the latest, but Delhi Capitals having won the toss now and have opted to field first. Rohit Sharma and Rishabh Pant were there in the middle, saying that both of them would have wanted to field first. So Delhi Capitals getting that advantage straight away, because this is a new pitch. Since 2015, not a single T20 has been played here. So how is the pitch going to behave? You know, we'll have to wait and watch out for that. But it is Mumbai Indians versus the Delhi Capitals. Rohit Sharma, the current captain of the Indian team, versus Rishabh Pant, who is possibly the future captain of Indian team, especially if you believe what Sunil Gavaskar has to say. So that is the big match coming up today. The toss has happened. Let's take you through the playing 11. But before that, let me also introduce Nikhil Narayan, my colleague, who's here with me. Also joining us is Vedam Jaishankar, senior journalist from Bengaluru. So thank you so much, guys. Let's get straight into the playing 11 before I get first reactions from the both of you. Playing 11 for both the teams, and if we could just put the playing 11 for Delhi Capitals up. Now, there were some caps that were handed out today. Prithvi Shaw is there. The fitness of Prithvi Shaw, that's one thing that people will be, wondering about. Tim Seifert comes in place of David Warner. Remember David Warner, one player that Delhi would have wanted straight away, but he's not available. So Tim Seifert has come in place of him. Mandeep Singh is in the side. Rishabh Pant, Rovman Powell, Lalit Yadav, Akshar Patel, Shardul Thakur, Khalil Ahmed is there. Kuldeep Yadav also comes in, and there is Kamlesh Nagarkoti. So it is a new look Delhi squad, and actually a squad that not many would have imagined to be the playing 11 for the first game, given that 5 foreign players that Delhi had bought, all 5 of them have been unavailable. Anrik Nokia being a huge blow because he is injured, but other than that as well, I think for Delhi to go in with 2 foreign players, how will that turn out for the Delhi Capitals? But Ricky Ponting must have something up his sleeve. He'll know what to do. They are taking on Mumbai Indians at the Brabant Stadium. That is the Delhi team. Rovman Powell is part of that. Tim Seifert is there. And at number 3, remember, they had got Mitchell Marsh. He's also available on national duty. He's unavailable. And Mandeep Singh comes in place of Mitchell Marsh. Then there is Rishabh Pant. So when Nikhil, when the playing 11, when you look at this playing 11, you realize that they're missing some key players, and that is going to impact the team. That's why I would say it is advantage Mumbai.
It is advantage Mumbai, and you're right. Warner, Marsh, Anrik Nokia. 3 big players, 3 massive players for Delhi Capitals. Warner, I predicted, will be the batsman of the tournament. Anrik Nokia will be is pitted to be the bowler of the tournament. So 3 massive blows, in the first encounter for Delhi. But it also gives a chance for them to test their bench strength. And if they can upset Mumbai with this team, then when all the big guns make a comeback after say the first 3 matches or so, then Delhi is in a much better place. So it's a test for Ricky Ponting, Rishabh Pant to test their bench strength. But I think MI has the slight advantage because they only don't have Surya and they have everyone else.
That's right. And on top of that, they are, in a way, playing at home. So crowds at Brabant Stadium would be supporting, what I'm guessing, is Mumbai Indians. And we know that they've got a huge fan base as well. Vedam, when you look at the Mumbai team, and we'll take our viewers through the playing 11, but when you look at the 2 sides and, the issue of players being unavailable today, you would say that Mumbai do have an advantage there?
I guess so, but there are a lot of factors that we need to take into account, especially in this IPL. First and foremost, we still have to get used to the players because there's been so much of mix and match now. It's very difficult to keep track of them at this initial stage. Maybe by the time next 2-3 matches go through, we'll get a better hang of it. That's one. The second part is even within this team, with so many overseas players unavailable, it's a little difficult to keep track of who's going to do what. But having said that, I think Delhi have done themselves a great favor by winning the toss because they're going to chase. And when you look at the bowling attacks of both teams, Delhi has the weaker bowling attack. So when you have a weaker bowling attack and you're not so strong or not so sure about your bowling side, it's better for you not to defend a target, but to chase a target with your batting. So I think that's going to help Delhi a bit. The second part is it's being played in the afternoon, so dew won't be so much of a factor. But if you look at the Mumbai side overall, whether it's batting or bowling, I think it looks a better side. It's a better developed side. It's a better all-round side. But again, in T20 cricket, one innings or a couple of bad overs or
Yeah.
good overs can take away a match.
That's absolutely right. Now, this game, as we said, is being played at the Brabant Stadium. Also, just before I get into the details of what you can expect, the pitch report, we'll talk about that. But comment section's open for all of you. So if you have any comments, you can talk about the teams that you're supporting today, your favorite players. Who do you think is likely to make an impact in today's game? So put all of that in the comment section below, and we'll take your questions as well, and any suggestions if you have. But just coming back to the pitch report, what can one expect from Brabant Stadium? Now, no T20 game, as I said earlier, has been played at this venue since 2015. Teams batting first have won 6 of the last 9 matches here. So batting first does have an advantage here, unlike what we saw at the Wankhede Stadium in the match that Chennai Super Kings played against Kolkata Knight Riders. The average first innings score is 173. So those are the details. And of course, as Vedam just said, that this is a day game, so dew is not going to be a factor. And whether, sun beating down on the pitch, how much of an impact will that have? That's for us to wait and watch out for. But let's talk about the specifics now for Mumbai Indians. Nikhil, we already talked about Delhi Capitals. Mumbai Indians, the playing 11, along expected lines. But one thing is there, that Surya Kumar Yadav, and whether him missing out this game, whether that's going to have an impact, or him missing out a couple of games, because we still don't know how his rehabilitation is going. But, in his place, do you think that they've got the replacement that they would have wanted? They've gone in for Anmol Preet Singh. There is also Tilak Varma in the side. Tim David, we've talked about Tim David at length about this latest T20 superstar who's been, dazzling T20 leagues around the world. He's there. If you look at the side, Tim David, Kieron Pollard, there is Timil Mills, Riley Meredith. So when you look at the pace attack, it's a very good pace attack, Nikhil. They've got all bases covered. I don't know if I'm convinced about their spin options, though.
They don't have a world-class spinner. They let go of Rahul Chahar last year, and they haven't, bought anyone at the auctions who is in that league. I think Surya Kumar Yadav is a big blow if it's for a couple of matches. I'm looking forward to Tilak Varma, a very talented youngster. Also, I would play Tim David at number 4, not at number 5. Tim David is a playmaker. He can change the course of an innings. He needs to do what Surya does if Surya is not playing. He's wasted at number 5. Let Kieron Pollard do the death over hitting. Let Tim David come up. So I would play Tim David at number 4, not at number 5. Overall, I think Mumbai have the most bases covered in the first few matches. Other teams have at least 2 players unavailable, injury concerns. I think Mumbai have the best sort of 11, at least in the first 3 matches of the tournament.
Okay, now we've been getting your comments as well. We'll try to take all those comments, but let's also just continue this conversation with Vedam on Mumbai Indians. We already spoke about how Mumbai has tried to retain their core, but they do have some gaps that need to be plugged. Vedam, isn't that so? I mean, yes, you have put your money on someone like Tim David, but he's completely untested in these conditions. Or for that matter, yes, Tilak Varma has done well, but on this big platform of IPL, whether he's going to be able to do that well, pressure being a huge part there. So in that sense, they do have the experience. They have the experience of the core winning this tournament before, but they also have some young, new faces as well, and some completely untested people.
Yeah, but look at it this way. If you have some good youngsters, you would rather have them being groomed and mentored by people like Kieron Pollard, of course, Rohit Sharma, Jasprit Bumrah. So that way, actually, Mumbai is in a good space. It might have a few youngsters who are raw, but then look at the kind of exposure and experience that some of the others have got. So I think it's a good mix. It's good that they have these youngsters who will do the hard running, but there's also a lot of strength in the legs of these oldsters, and especially people like Bumrah. He's a cagey bowler, Bumrah. Kieron Pollard too is a very cagey cricketer. So is Rohit Sharma, tons and tons and tons of experience. During the auction, I said Basil Thampi will get a few games. He is raw. He's really raw. But he's quick. He's quick. He could be bowling no balls. He could be bowling wides, but whatever. But he's quick. But it's better to fit him in such a place where if he plays 2-3 matches and if he gets into a groove, Mumbai will be in a very good place with him, if possible. Especially 2-3 games, there will be nerves, like you said. You're right, absolutely, there will be nerves, and he is very raw, but he's got the pace.
I totally agree with you, and I think when it comes to their fast bowling, they've always had good fast bowling options ever since the IPL began. But my problem is with the spin options, especially because of what happened in yesterday's game. The ball was gripping, and everybody talked about how it was going to be a belter of a wicket. It was a low-scoring game, though Nikhil would say that, oh, come on, Chennai Super Kings just couldn't get going. But having said that, even when players spoke post-match, they were talking about how the ball was gripping, pitch was slightly tacky. So, things are going to change, and that's why for good teams, for teams to make it to the playoffs, they want to be well balanced. They want to have all their bases covered. And that's where I would think when you look at Mumbai Indians and you compare Mumbai Indians to, say, RR, who have the services of Ravichandran Ashwin and Yuzvendra Chahal, where for Mumbai Indians, the only options, spin options that they have playing in India is Murugan Ashwin, Mayank Markande, and maybe Fabian Allen in support cast. So whether that's going to make a difference. These pitches are going to slow down. One second. These pitches are going to slow down as the IPL continues. But I'll come to that conversation, I will. Let's just first take the head-to-head record now. I know that this wouldn't count for much, given that teams have completely changed. They're playing in different conditions. There's completely new teams. But overall, Nikhil, last season, Delhi Capitals beat Mumbai Indians in both the matches, but overall, Mumbai hold the edge.
16-14, so it's quite neck to neck, Meha. Last year, Delhi won both the matches, but in 2020, MI won 4 matches, Delhi won none. It's 5-all between the two sides since 2018, so it's really neck to neck between MI and Delhi. MI had the wood in the initial stages. Delhi have come back brilliantly in the last 3 seasons. So it's going to be a very tight encounter, even if we go historically.
Okay, now just coming back to what are some of the strengths for Mumbai Indians? I think one thing being, Vedam, the fact that Mumbai Indians retained that core, and some might say that Pollard is not the Pollard of old, but last season as well, if you look at their batting, it's really Pollard who was the only batsman to played more than 5 matches who averaged over 30. And so their batting struggled, and that has to be a difference. The reason why Mumbai Indians didn't do well last season was because their batting just wasn't clicking consistently. And for Mumbai Indians to do well now, their top 3 really need to fire.
Yeah, but look, this T20 matches, especially when they're played in India, you have real small boundaries, and it becomes a real power game. And that's where Pollard really stands out. He's willing to push the ball for singles and twos and then wait for those bad balls. And when he hits the balls, they stay hit. And when you look at the Mumbai squad, they have a lot of batsmen who can really hit the ball. The latest who's coming into their fold, of course, is a Singaporean, Tim David.
Yeah.
And he's done tremendously well in all the T20 formats, like you mentioned earlier, leagues throughout the world. So we'll be looking forward to him. Yes, Indian pitches, Indian conditions are a different kettle of fish, but I think he has the talent and to sort it out very quickly. And of course, he's got a lot of experienced players alongside who will even coach him and train him and tell him what to expect of the Indian pitches and conditions. But yes, Mumbai has got a lot of firepower, especially in the batting. And of course, their bowling is second to none. I think overall Mumbai is a far better side than Delhi is. But again, I'll still be a little cautious because these are early days. Everybody is still feeling their way around. One good innings, one good burst of spell can change the match.
That's right. But now let's talk about Tilak Varma, the one player that everybody was wondering why Mumbai have gone all out for. They paid 1.7 crore for this 19-year-old. very impressive in the domestic circuit. And I think Mumbai Indians, one thing we can be very sure of, Nikhil, is that they do their scouting well. And if they've picked Tilak Verma, there is something that they've seen, and they've seen that potential. Mahela Jayawardene has also spoken about him when he watched him in the nets. But Tilak Verma coming in that very crucial position for them. I also feel for Mumbai Indians, this is about looking ahead to the future. They know that they don't want to win just this year. It's for the next 3 years. What is the kind of team that they are going to make together?
Absolutely. Tilak Verma is a highly rated batsman in the domestic circuit. He's like a playmaker. He's someone like Surya. You know, he can build an innings. He can be the anchor, which Surya was till 16, 17, 18. And then Surya suddenly changed gears. He started batting at strike rate of 145, 150. Tilak Verma has all the shots in the book. He's almost considered a prodigy at the domestic level. And I think that's why, as you pointed out, MI has a brilliant scouting network. They send their scouts not only to all over India, but all over the world. And you know, Tilak Verma, I think, is someone for the future. I
think there are two players they would really be preparing long term. One is Dual Brevis and the other one is Tilak Verma. But we're completely out of time. Delhi have won the toss. They've elected to field first. It is Rohit Sharma versus Rishabh Pant. Who is it going to be? Who will be on top? Well, we'll get you all the latest from the world of cricket, from the world of IPL, on our YouTube channel. Do put all your comments in the comment section below. Do like, share and subscribe this video if you appreciate what we're doing. Thank you so much, Vedam, for joining us. Evening is RCB. I'm sure you're looking forward to that one. I'll ask you whether you still genuinely believe RCB will make it to the playoffs, but that's for another day, another time. Thank you so much. Thanks so much, Nikhil, for joining us as well. We'll get you all the latest at 7 p.m. just before the second game begins. We'll be right back on our YouTube channel and Facebook as well. So do join us then. For now, goodbye. Enjoy all the action.